All right, looks like we're live, Carlos.
All right, sounds good. Well,
Yeah,
sorry for the delay, everyone. Technical issues and this and that.
and Starbucks closed down.
Yeah, Starbucks kicked us out of their patio because they were closing earlier than usual.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I think it's because it's understaffed, but I think, John, you have a different theory, right?
yeah. It's because they're saving money on budget. I've worked in corporate America long enough.
Oh, gotcha,
They
gotcha.
basically look at foot traffic. If they don't see a lot of customers coming, they're like, "Why are we paying our employees an extra hour of labor?"
Right.
So
But before that, we were at Pete's Coffee, and Pete's Coffee also closed like around 5:30 p.m. Right, earlier
that's insane, man.
than what we
5:30.
were. Right. So do you think that this is even Best Buy was closing earlier? So
Yeah,
it's not just like one specific industry. It's all sorts of things are closing earlier.
yeah.
So could it really be because there's less customers, or could it be because there's less employees too?
I think it's some places are having trouble finding employees, but mostly I think it's just less traffic.
Mm, even on Friday?
Yeah, I guess a lot of people are online now.
Oh yeah.
Amazon's killing Best Buy,
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
even Target.
Oh, you got a comment there.
Hey, what's going on, Tommy? How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Tommy says, sup, sup. How's it going? Yeah, I'm sure notifications will go out and we'll see more people as we continue to stream.
Right, right. Yeah, so we are in an undisclosed area of Pasadena,
Undisclosed location.
right? In an underground bunker, called Chipotle
Yeah.
patio.
Well, at least we have food here in case shit goes down.
For reals, yeah.
We have access to food.
Yep. And yeah, we were just talking about maybe next time we could like have a live stream at a Thai place, right?
But yeah, that'll be fun.
That
I like
would
Thai
be
food.
the farewell episode, right?
Yep.
'Cause I'm,
That'll
I'm
be before you go to Japan.
yeah, because I'm thinking of
Spoiler.
going to Japan. Yeah, for reals. If everything works out, it should be within the next 3 months, sometime within the next 3 months. Because I hear that's how long it takes to sort of process a work permit,
Yeah.
in order to teach over there or to work in Japan in general, right? So that's something that I'm working on my end, but nothing is guaranteed yet.
What's your expected date to go to Japan?
Well, maybe around June, perhaps. Around
Mhm.
that time, June, July. But yeah, had an interview yesterday, and that's what they told me more or less. But I still have to wait for the Japanese counterparts, to actually give me the second interview, and then from there on move on to the paperwork and all that bureaucratic stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. But if it works out, then maybe that could be, my new location. That I can build a career teaching English out there.
You say
I think
moving to
it'd be nice.
Tokyo? Or are
Exactly.
you going to be working in Tokyo?
Tokyo specifically. They have 3 different parts of Japan that the school is affiliated with, but
Yeah.
for now they're thinking of sending me to Tokyo, which I wouldn't mind. I think Tokyo might be an exciting place. They said Tokyo is like the New York
Of Japan?
of Japan. Yeah, which I don't know
Of
if that's
Japan or of Asia? Actually, probably Japan because what's the most popular city in China?
well, that might be Shanghai
Shanghai, yep.
and Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yep.
Those areas.
Technically, Hong Kong's not a part of China, right? They're separate countries.
They're called one country, two systems, right? And Taiwan is another can of worms, which
I've heard conflicting things because I've heard Hong Kong is not a part of China. They're separate. But China is trying to take over Hong Kong.
Okay, now that's true for Taiwan. What you just said is true for Taiwan.
Okay.
For Hong Kong, the British formally returned that area to the Chinese in the 90s, more or less. What ended up happening is that Hong Kong was allowed to keep their own rules based on the British way of doing things.
Yep.
But little by little, the mainland government is imposing more of their rule in Hong Kong,
Right.
which some people could say, that's probably not so good. And one of the things is that they're imposing Mandarin because in Hong Kong, most people speak Cantonese. Yeah. But now they're forcing all the students to, use Mandarin, and so they fear that Cantonese.
Wait, they speak Mandarin in mainland, right? But like in the suburbs, they speak Cantonese.
In Hong Kong, they speak Cantonese, but in various parts of China, they have their own local dialect. Mandarin is basically from Beijing or that area, more or less.
Gotcha.
So everywhere else they have their own dialects, quote unquote, but we could probably call them languages because
Right.
they're mutually unintelligible.
Right.
Like one guy from one town cannot really understand the guy from the other town if they're speaking in their dialect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mandarin is their common language.
Right.
Just like in the United States, you have your own regional slang, but
Mhm.
what keeps it together is formal English.
Right.
That's one way to look at it.
Right. I don't even know what formal English is. Isn't that what the British speak?
Yeah, formal English is the way you talk
Can I
to
get
your.
some tea and crumpets?
Can I have some tea?
And crumpets.
My apologies, sir. We just have coffee from Starbucks. Formal English is.
That was a horrible British accent on both of us.
I know. History class with Carlos.
I know, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, British. I mean, formal English is how you talk to your boss.
Yeah.
To keep it simple. It's how you
Oh,
talk
like
at work.
email language.
Exactly.
Have you seen those like memes in the videos? They're great.
Yeah, email language. You know what I mean? I haven't seen those memes or whatever, but
Yeah.
I can just imagine.
Like one of them is like when you send someone an email but they don't pay attention to it, like they completely disregard some of the stuff, and then so like you tell them like, as I stated in the previous email.
That previous email from
Exactly.
10 threads ago.
If you recall.
I know.
Shots fired through email.
Yeah. Now you can get ChatGPT to probably write your
Oh my
emails
God.
for you. You know what I mean?
I don't even know if you need ChatGPT because Google basically writes all my emails.
Oh yeah.
I just have to approve it.
Oh damn.
Like couple words. I'll type a couple words and then it'll like fill out the rest of it.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I hear that you could even make your own art using AI, right?
Probably, yeah.
Art and videos and
Oh,
music and stuff like that.
yeah, like it'll upload like a picture of yourself and then it'll create like the background and all this stuff. Yeah, I've seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. Now imagine a stream like this, with a deep fake of you,
Yeah.
like some sort of bootleg John stream,
Yeah.
with your voice, artificially created, your
Right.
image and stuff like that, like in the middle of the North Pole or something.
Right.
Like that'd be a trip.
That would be a trip.
But that's the world we live in now,
There's books being written by AI. There's songs being written by AI. It's crazy.
Oh damn. Yeah.
I think we're gonna get to a point where it's gonna be hard to distinguish between AI and human.
Right. Yeah.
Because like that's how good AI is getting. By the way, Tommy, let us know if you can hear us clearly because we're in a public area.
Oh,
So there's a lot of noise.
Yeah, there's cars passing by and stuff like that.
Yeah. People just going crazy to get to Chipotle.
People falling asleep in their Teslas because they have faith in AI.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think they're here because of the ice cream at Chipotle.
Yeah, I know. So many people at that ice cream place.
Look at how many people are here. Look at all the empty spots there.
Damn.
Yeah.
People want
It's
their
just a
sugar
few feet
rush.
away. It's just a few spots a few feet away. They don't want to walk.
Yeah, I know.
So they want their sugar and oh nice, we got the Driven Down house. What's up, Tony? How's it going? I met Tony when I was in Colorado last June.
Oh yeah?
June or July, I forgot. I think it was July. Really cool guy. Shout out to Tony.
Oh wow.
Tommy says, I thought I heard kids. You heard correctly, sir. There's an ice cream spot next door, so going well. Glad to hear it, Tony. What else is Silicon Valley Bank.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think of hot topics.
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic right there.
I thought they were gonna close the whole thing down, but apparently now they have a new CEO.
Yeah. I guess it got bailed out, didn't it?
Yeah, people were saying it got bailed out whenever they just insured the deposits, but I think it got bailed out because they put a new CEO. They didn't shut the bank down. And apparently these startup companies, like the client base I was working with, Silicon Valley Bank, they tried going to the bigger banks like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and apparently they didn't like the way they were being treated. I mean, I don't know how you expect to be treated at a bank, right?
I know.
It's like, just hold my money, that's it.
Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You deposit, you withdraw,
They
end of
want-
story.
They want preferential treatment, like they want the lattes when they go in, and it's all woke stuff.
I think that's how Capital One used to work, right? They used to have their
Oh,
own
the
bank with
cafe.
a cafe in it.
They still do.
That's still a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I
I think they sell the coffee. I don't think it's free.
I know, but
Ironically, it's Pete's Coffee.
oh man,
They sell Pete's Coffee.
now I want to try that. Yeah.
Oh, what's going on here? Tony says, Tommy, I promise to not time me out. That's funny. How's the OW2 going? It's going good, man. Enjoying it. Really blessed to have that job. Things driven that. A wrench would stop that. What else? What else have we been hearing? Oh, there's another bank that's not as much trouble as Silicon Valley Bank, but it's called First Republic Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've been having issues as well. It's funny because I passed by one today. That was the first time I've seen one.
Oh, First Republic Bank?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like their stock has been taken. I think people were trying to get their money out, but it's like another regional bank, like one of the smaller banks. I don't know.
Well, I hear we're living in tough times,
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you brought that up because do you think it's perspective? Because like you could say, you can always counter tough times with positive thoughts and be thankful for what you have.
yeah. But here's what I don't get. Maybe you guys can explain it to us, or maybe you have some thoughts about this, John. How is it then that there's a recession, right? Or
Yeah.
the beginnings of it, but there's so many
A
help
supposed
wanted signs,
recession.
right? So I mean, at least in my industry, teaching English, I've been getting so many opportunities lately, and so how is that possible?
Tony says, John, it's because I accidentally hit Hi, don't tell me on Hannibal's channel when I was playing with that. Alright. That's funny. I'm sure you won't have to worry about that here, Tommy. I think Tony learned his lesson. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh yeah. Okay, so the economy is going down, but labor shortage is going up, and there's so many help wanted signs everywhere, and some of these jobs could be very well paying. How does that work? Because I used to think, if there's a recession, that means there's less jobs. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because usually the company or the employers that are looking for that are hiring are like fast food and different service jobs, and then a lot of people don't want to work those jobs.
Mm. Then on the other end, there's the high skilled ones, like you need like all sorts of certs and all sorts of credentials, and not everybody has that, right?
Yeah.
So people are looking for something in between, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's a shortage of those jobs.
Okay, gotcha.
If any, there's a shortage of pay.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of people don't want to work those fast food jobs, and honestly, I worked retail for 10 years, so I know how it is.
Oh yeah.
It can be really difficult. A lot of people treat workers like trash, and sometimes the pay. Well, I won't say sometimes, but yeah, there are times where you're second guessing like the pay and if it's worth it and stuff like that. So I've been there. Tommy says for like 10 minutes earlier, so tell me the next thing. Oh man, what are you guys up to this weekend? Tony, are you working right now with Lisa? Lisa's his wife. So basically, what Tony and his wife do, they both do Uber together at the same time, like in different cars, and they try to work 4 days a week and make 10 grand. No wait, how much they try to make? Yeah, they try to make 1,000. So, sorry, 4 grand, not 10 grand. They try to make 16 grand a month. So yeah, 4 times 4 is 16. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Does the gig economy let people, have a lot of opportunities like that?
It does because a lot of people who either don't want to work a W-2 or can't find a W-2 because maybe they don't have experience or they don't have a college degree. So I think it gives them opportunities as well.
Gotcha.
For me, I'm thankful for the gig economy because it gave me the opportunity to get out of debt a lot faster than I would have. Because the thing with W-2 is that you have to be on their schedule. So like at the time I was working 9 to 5, and then I tried getting a job afterwards, and they wanted me to work till like midnight or 1 a.m. I'm like, I can't. I gotta wake up for work the next day. So the gig apps gave me the flexibility.
Well, congrats on getting out of debt. I know it's
Thank you.
probably been a while since that happened, but still, that's quite an
life-changing.
accomplishment. Yeah.
You don't have to work as much as or you don't have to work as much.
So now you can just focus on saving and investing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good.
And being able to afford rent in LA.
Right.
Because rent is so expensive in LA.
Right. But you love it here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You love LA.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like the politics, but I like the air because family and friends are here, so it's hard. I've moved to a different city where I didn't know anyone, and I don't know if I want to go through that again. It's really challenging.
Well, it's like what we were talking about, because of the homeless crisis.
Yeah.
A lot of times finding a good public restroom is almost impossible.
Right.
Do you think that's more possible in other states, or do you think it's like the same everywhere?
I think it depends on the area. Like the areas that we're talking about, there's a higher homelessness rate than the area we're in today, like more in the suburbs. I think it's more challenging in the city than it is in the suburbs. So I think it really depends on the area.
Gotcha. So that could be true everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that problem is just in big cities everywhere, like New York, Chicago, Atlanta. I'm sure they all have the similar challenges. Because at that point, it's not really a matter of politics. Yeah, like politics do make a difference, but if you have that many people, you're bound to have homelessness.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised in yesterday's interview because the guy said, just like in LA, there's bad parts of town and you don't want to move into them. That's something you have to think about when you go to Tokyo. So they're all like, we're going to have to help you find a good place.
Tony said the same thing in Colorado. A lot of locked bathrooms here. Yeah, I don't know. I can remember the last time didn't see it locked. Actually, no, it was yesterday. But that was like a super rare thing. And it was a Starbucks too. Yeah, even like McDonald's have codes now. It's crazy.
Right. I start seeing these codes all over the place.
Yeah.
In places that didn't need them before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just aware we could just open it with your phone, like NFC.
Right. I hear that the homeless in China have their own phones and they accept donations through an app.
Oh wow. I wonder if the government takes a cut out of that.
Who knows? Maybe.
Like, yeah, you can do it on an app. Let's take a cut out of it.
Crazy.
I mean, even homeless people out here that have like Venmo, PayPal, Cash App.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Girl Scouts too. Like if you tell them like I don't have any cash, like it's okay, we accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash. There's no getting out of it.
They're hustling.
Yeah, they are. They know what they're doing. Like even like the chiropractor I go to, the massage girl, she has a Cash App. So
wow.
not Cash App, sorry, Venmo.
Oh, gotcha.
So I just like Venmo her to tip because sometimes I don't have cash.
Oh, right. I mean, they used to say cash is king. Do you think that's still true?
I think it still is. I mean, so okay, I'm glad you brought that up because when they say cash is king, I don't know if they're necessarily referring to like paper cash. I think they're talking about like having like even if it's digital, like in a bank account, like in the savings. Because I think it comes from like an investment point of view. Because like you can either put in a market or you can have like on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think that's where it comes from. Cash is king. Because you have more flexibility, you have more options when you have cash instead of having it tied up somewhere. And it's not liquid.
I think we have a comment here.
Oh, nice. Tommy says they do that in Atlanta. He has a sign with the Cash App info. That's crazy. How about we do that till we just quit our jobs and just...
Yeah.
Dude, those guys make good money.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of them aren't homeless. They just, take advantage of people's kindness.
They just pretend to sometimes, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can usually tell because, like, they're clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're wearing clean clothes, like, or they're, like, clean cut. But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I wonder. Because, like, sometimes friends tell me, it's tough nowadays. I can't even find a job here or there.
Yeah.
And I say, well, look, you have a similar background than me. Like, how is it that you can't find something? Because on my end,
maybe you're not trying hard enough.
Right. Who knows? Because there's opportunities everywhere if you really look for it, right?
Yeah. That's true,
Yeah.
if you don't have, the necessary experience, it'll probably be harder. But that's when you just gotta take any job they can get.
Right, to get started.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. On my end, I just like to sometimes, just have cash too, because you
Yeah.
never know when a business, especially when you go eat out with friends,
Yeah.
like they can't accept a million credit cards at the same time
Right.
per table. So
Right.
you could use cash for that.
Yeah, if you're a big party, then you just gotta figure that stuff on your own.
Right.
I think Tony commented. Tony says Cash App signs on high school graduates' cars asking for tuition. That's crazy. I'm guessing those are private high schools, because public high schools, you have to pay tuition. I can imagine, or maybe it's for college, like they're getting ready for college. That would make sense.
Yeah.
The thing is that if you donate to one person, you have to donate to all of them.
Yeah, but I have mixed feelings about college, Like if a family member was asking for advice, I'd say, you want to go to college? Major in STEM,
I agree, yeah.
Major in STEM. And
don't go for like history or liberal arts or something like that. Like those are fine, but it's not, the ROI is not there.
It's like, if there was a fundraiser out there.
Tony says, yeah, college. Oh, so I guess they're graduating high schoolers that are going to college and asking for donations. I get it.
How about go get a job, LOL?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, man, people just want to, bum off for other people. They don't want to work.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
that's the society we're in nowadays. People don't want to work.
If there was some sort of fund drive for like a college fund, right, or something like that, but it's for people who are majoring in sociology, I'm not sure if I would want to donate,
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean,
by the way, Tony, let us know if you can hear us clearly.
By the way, John, do you get mail from Cal State that says, remember us? And you want to donate to us?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, you used to?
I haven't gotten one in a while. They try to guilt trip you into donating.
I've even gotten calls from them. And I
really?
said, I think I said in a nice way, where were you guys when I needed money?
Exactly.
When I was a student,
Exactly, yeah.
Like
what are you doing with these donations?
You're raising funds for the students. Like, I was literally starving. Like, where was my help?
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen if I donate to them,
They'll probably keep it.
Probably. Oh, you're loud and clear.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Yeah, there's some noise, but it's not too bad.
How was the tea?
It was good, yeah. I wonder where did that dog go?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there was a guard dog, like right where we are.
I wouldn't call it a guard dog.
It was acting like one.
A dog, yeah.
Like right by the gate,
I think the owner just tied him up there. That's why.
And then John's all like, "You go first, just to see if it bites." Like, damn.
No, I knew. That wasn't that even crossed my mind. I was trying to be courteous, but I let you in first.
Okay, gotcha.
No, if that was a dog that I've done it to other friends. Like if I think it's a dog that's gonna bite, I tell them not to go.
I was joking.
I go first. Okay. We're caught up on comments.
So I was. Oh yeah, did I ask how was your tea?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, darn. I remember getting that once. A chai.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good if you're not a coffee person. I'm not a huge coffee person. Actually, I'm not a coffee person at all. So.
That's probably a good thing.
Do you want to talk about like how a lot of gig workers are refusing to go back to W-2?
A lot of gig workers don't want to go back.
They're basically doing charity work.
Charity work?
Yeah.
How come?
In the sense that like they're taking like the low-ball offers and they're not even making money on those.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, especially with food delivery and I guess with both food delivery and Uber. Like Tony, he's different. He takes a lot of really good rides. He has a Tesla Model Y, and that qualifies for like the higher tier Ubers. But like, there's a lot of people who are just driving for like the lower tiers that don't pay a lot, and the customers don't tip.
All time.
But they're accepting it knowingly. They're like, oh, $4 for 8 miles, I'll take that. And there's like, it's charity work. You're not making money with that.
Oh, the Driven Dad says.
He's like, Carlos, you're a dog whisperer.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yep. Carlos' dog whisperer. That's why I let him go first.
There you go.
Man, this plaza's changed a lot. There used to be a famous footwear here. That's closed down, I think. I don't know what Old Navy and the store next to it used to be. I think where the Nordstrom rack is now, I think that used to be like a furniture store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dick's, I think that was Sport Authority before, so a similar business. Party City's probably like the longest. Party City, Best Buy, and Starbucks. And Chipotle are like the longest standing. Oh, GameStop too.
Well, I'm glad there's still retail, you know,
Yeah,
that people can walk in and physically buy stuff.
right.
But
Do you think that's going to be around in 10 years?
I hope so. I'm kind of old-fashioned, you know.
Yeah.
I like walking to places.
It's an experience.
I know.
When you shop on Amazon, when you buy stuff online, it's just like so disconnected.
Yeah, you just look and click and stuff.
Exactly. You don't even get excited, like you order like a PS5 or like something, or like whatever. But like I remember like the excitement of like waiting outside like a game store, Best Buy, for, like pre-releases or stuff like that, and like those are exciting days. Kids these days aren't gonna experience that, and that's sad.
I know, yeah. I remember Blockbuster too. Those were
Blockbuster, yeah.
for reals. Renting movies, renting games.
Remember like whenever like it was like a really popular movie or video game, and then you would like look behind the box and there's one left. Like the adrenaline rush was crazy.
I know, like I made it.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
There were times too when you grab a random movie and like you took a risk. Like I don't know if this is a good movie, but I like the description. I'll give it a shot. I'll watch it today. You know.
Yeah. That was Michael Jackson beat it. What a contrast in music.
I know. Like, does that happen where you live? Like, do people roll down their windows and play
Yeah,
music
some
out
do.
loud?
Yeah. They're driving like a leased or rented, like a BMW or Mercedes, like that guy. There's like blasting music, thinking that they're cooler than they actually are.
You know, it's like if you're gonna blast music, at least blast good music. You know.
Like Michael Jackson beat it.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because you can actually tell a lot about a person by the music they listen to.
Okay, what's your
And
point
the
of
way they
view when it
drive.
comes to that? Like, let's shoot a category: pop music. What does that say about people?
That they like to conform.
Okay, good.
But they
Alright.
also have good taste in music because older music is
pop
better.
music
Yeah,
was pretty good. Yeah,
it's pretty good. Yeah, than the garbage
like
nowadays.
80s, 90s, and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
How about
Alright.
you?
Okay, yeah, I think so too. Don't get me wrong. There's some gems here and there.
Yeah,
Now, what's your opinion on like dubstep?
it's not my scene, but I don't know. I think it's cool because it brings people together.
Okay.
It's like a communal experience.
How about mumble rap?
That's garbage.
All right.
Panda.
How about reggaeton?
I like reggaeton even though I can't understand the stuff.
All right. Do you know chunti music?
No, what is that?
Like the regional Mexican, not mariachi, like the regional
Banda?
stuff like that. You know.
Banda?
I know, yeah, like stuff like that. You know.
Okay, yeah.
The
Is Banda
really
one of them?
noisy stuff.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Really, really noisy stuff.
And like they start yelling with the microphone.
You get you. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I have neighbors who listen to music like that. I mean, I don't have anything against that. I just don't understand what they're saying.
I mean, yeah.
That's like the hype music.
I mean, what can I say about it? But like, if you're rolling down the windows and forcing me to listen to it when I'm trying to focus on my work,
Or we're trying to sleep. Because they
exactly.
usually go to like 2 a.m.
I know. That's the only time when I'm like, I don't know about this.
Armenian music is like that too. They go late. They go like till 2 a.m. Yeah, it's more like like pianos and flutes, so that can be loud too.
Armenian music, huh?
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Tony says my dad calls it
Circus music.
yeah, circus music. Yeah, that's funny. So Tony's half white, half Mexican.
Oh yeah.
Tony, is your dad's side half Mexican? I think so. Yeah, I think his mom's side was half white.
Oh wow. How's that like? You know?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Why would you
Tony, Carlos asking me how what it's like being half Mexican, half white.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, of course, you're 100% American, but like having that heritage like that, you know?
Yeah.
Wonder how that's like.
The people that I met that are half white, half Mexican, they don't speak Spanish well, which makes sense.
That
Because
makes
usually
sense.
it's the mom side that's white, and that's not the Spanish speaking side. So there was one girl I used to date, and I knew more Spanish than she did, and she was like half white, half Mexican.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is sad because I hardly know Spanish.
Well, you could always practice. You could always
I'll
learn.
teach her. I'm a teacher. Tony says, "Yep." Oh, so yeah, his dad's side is the Mexican side.
Oh, okay.
Carlos wants to know how that is, what that's like.
Yeah. Is that fun or weird or awkward or interesting? I wouldn't know.
Neither would I.
All right. So how is it like being an Armenian in Southern California?
Since Tony did the response, my turn now. It's interesting. I feel like we have a duty because our ancestors were systematically murdered 100 years ago, over 100 years ago now, April 24, 1915. So it's our duty to let people know what happened and make sure that people don't forget it and it just slip through the cracks.
So that was in Turkey, right?
It was in Armenia, but it was in the hands of the Ottoman Empire at the time, which is Turkey now. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, before they were Turkey, they were the Ottoman Empire, kind of like the Soviet Union. It was Soviet Union days.
Oh, we got a comment there.
It's a long one too. We got 2 comments. Let's see. Tony says, "At home it's great, but growing up, white people were racist about my Mexican side. Mexicans were racist against my whole side." Yeah,
Damn.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But that wasn't everyone. Yeah, probably depends on like who you almost blocked Tony. Because I was trying to unhide the comment, I accidentally tapped the 3 dots.
Yeah, it's kind of risky when you're doing this with
On
a
mobile.
smartphone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So just to learn a little bit about the Armenian genocide. So were the Armenians sort of like, of course they were systematically, genocided.
It was
but
very similar to like the Jewish Holocaust.
I see.
Men were separated from the women and children. A lot of kids were like burned alive. Women were raped. Like really graphic stuff.
So this is before Armenia became part of the USSR, right?
Yes, because that was in the 1950s and 60s, I believe.
Okay. So after they got incorporated into the Russian Empire,
Right.
Did that change things for the better or worse?
I think so, because I think they gave them the protection that they needed from Turkey, because Armenia is not a big, strong country. They're small, poor, not a very resourceful country. Armenian people, we are very creative when it comes to art, education, literature. It's a very like art-centric country. Like we're not really like a strong military or like anything like that. So it's easy to get picked on. And Turkey basically just wants Armenia's land because Turkey's right next to Azerbaijan. So like if you remember, Azerbaijan was attacking Armenia a few years ago.
They were?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I would say like it feels like just a few years ago. I don't know how long it's been, but yeah, Azerbaijan was. They were attacking Armenia, but basically like Turkey was giving them the guns and the weapons and things like that to attack Armenia.
Oh, that's crazy. So that stuff is going on even to this day.
Exactly. I mean, we're seeing it with Russia and Ukraine.
A similar thing.
Yeah, similar to Armenia and Azerbaijan. Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. And so after the Soviet Union stepped in, then the Armenian people went to various parts of Russia and outside, right? Like in your case, like they went to the Middle East, right?
There's that dog.
Oh yeah, there it is.
The big homie.
I know. It's scary when they're big, but they're probably friendlier when they're big.
You can just tell by their face. He just wanted food.
Yeah.
I wanted to pet him or her, but actually looks like judging by his face, it looks like a senior dog.
Oh, you got a comment there.
Carlos is my comment notification tonight. Turkey won't let people even explore the spot of Noah's Ark. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Apparently, they found Noah's Ark.
In Turkey.
I don't know where, but how do they know it's Noah's Ark? Did it say Noah?
It just says Noah was here.
Yeah, in English.
Has a smiley face.
Well, like, how would you know? And how did nobody pick up the rubble after all these years? You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I guess they have their way of knowing, and apparently it was found. But also, the lost city of Troy. It turns out it was in Turkey. You know. So that epic about Troy versus Greece. You know, it was basically Greece versus Turkey.
Yeah.
Back
Man,
in those
talk
days.
about Greece, man. They fell apart.
Oh yeah.
Their economy collapsed. Yeah.
Again?
I don't know about again. I was just like in the past.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just, well, needless to say, it's not in a good position.
Oh yeah. It's kind of ironic because all of Western civilization comes from Greeks. You know,
Yeah.
the Greeks got it from the Egyptians from Samaria. But yeah, let's say Greece. Okay, so a lot of smart people, you know, historically speaking, are from there.
Right.
But why is the modern Greece, you know, doing so badly? I don't know, because they're so proud of their heritage. So what's
I think it's
going
their
on?
politics.
Yeah.
Their finances, their central bank system is very smart.
Ah,
I think the biggest problem is with their central bank.
oh, is that what's going
Yeah.
on? Well, even back then, when they were at their like,
Coming from someone who lives in the country that Silicon Valley Bank failed.
I know. Who are we to judge, right?
Yeah.
But that's just one little bank, right? It's not like it's gonna be a domino effect. With
It was
the
a pretty
rest
big bank. I mean, regionally, yeah, it's not the size of like Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo, but it's still a pretty big bank. They had a lot of money in deposits. Tony says democracy is the downfall of Western society.
Maybe.
I mean, what would you prefer? Authoritarian, like China,
Okay.
communism, or Tony likes communism. He prefers communism.
It's hilarious.
He likes to be told what to do instead of being, having the freedom to do whatever he wants. That's why he's against democracy.
You'd make a pretty good propagandist, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Democracy needs a check like we have had a republic. I don't know, man. I'm not. I almost blocked Tony again.
You're like, oops.
Yeah, oops. My finger slipped. He comments saying democracy is like mob rule. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not the type of person who says, who supports big government. Like, I'm not like oh, we need to pay more taxes to make sure that we get this and that, because we do pay a lot of taxes already, and I don't think it's being managed correctly. Like, we still don't have health care for everyone. That's the biggest thing.
And the roads aren't fixed. There's so many potholes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
I ran over a huge pothole yesterday. I thought it was a sinkhole. Like, that's how big it was. I just felt my car like bleeding. I'm like, this is it. This is how it's going down.
There's your taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I just paid my taxes not too long ago. I'm all like,
God, really?
Damn, just because I'm single.
Just fear did it increase?
Oh, is that what happened?
I don't know, because I haven't followed mine yet, but I did the math, and yeah, I'm like, damn. I'm like, this is a lot. This is nowhere close to where I used to have to pay.
I know.
And I get write-offs because I did DoorDash and stuff. Like, I write off my depreciation, all that stuff, my mileage.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So I was shocked. Democracy is majority rules. It's how Rome fell too. Yeah,
what I heard, there's a controversial video that I saw today, but they're comparing.
The one we're talking about now.
Yeah, we've been talking about politics this whole stream, so I hope you don't mind.
Hopefully I don't get banned. If my channel isn't there tomorrow, you know why.
It is what it is. I
mean,
politics. But there's a million channels talking about it already.
Yeah.
Okay, so the theory is that Rome was pagan at its zenith, or at its highest point, right?
Yeah.
It was pagan. But then Christianity came along.
Oh, so we're adding religion to this now.
Okay, yes. Let's make it as controversial as possible. And I'm not even done. I'm not even done.
we have to add the science too.
Right. So they're comparing Christianity to Rome, to wokeness with contemporary U.S.
Right.
They're saying so the Christians, they were like the woke people of their era, sort of like standing up for the little guy, and then they took over everything, and they were against the pagan stuff. So similar to now how, the power structure is flipped with wokeness. So I don't know. That video was sort of implying that that's
Tony says
homophobe.
this is political science, not politics. That's one way to get around it.
There you go. Yeah. USA is a
That's
democratic
because we're not
republic.
like saying like, oh, the liberals are doing this or conservatives are doing that. We're not taking science. We're just like we're talking about like from a broad perspective.
Yeah. Well, the founding fathers of the U.S. they were very scared about democracy. You know, they really didn't like democracy. They wanted a republic.
Yeah.
And they wanted landowners to vote. You know.
We might as well call this live stream with John Carlos and Tony.
There you go. Yeah. Woke is a CRT.
Propaganda.
What CRT?
I don't know what that is. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Tony's starting to come up with his own acronyms now.
Well, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's because we're not plugged
Okay.
in, probably.
China, Russia, Turkey propaganda?
It could be. I don't know. But no, they're not woke. They're against Western values.
Okay, so I don't know then.
I think if we do go to war with China and Russia, it's because
Oh,
They-
critical race theory.
Okay,
oh,
gotcha,
okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I know. I remember having to learn about that in college, you know, and I
Yeah,
remember
it sounds familiar.
at the moment, you know,
Probably slept through that class.
they said your students, because I was learning how to teach. I was
Yeah.
learning to be a teacher. Your students might.
Carlos is an educator, by the way. That's his profession.
There you go. So I was being taught that the students might identify as this or that, right?
Yeah,
So they said gender is a spectrum and it's a social construct.
right,
And at that moment, I remember thinking, wait, but there's biology
right.
too, right? They said, but it's a social construct when it comes to so on and so forth. And I'm all like, I just want to pass the class. All right, tell me what you want to tell me.
Yeah,
I just want to pass the class.
yeah,
And then they were all like, as a teacher, you must be an agent for change. Like, whoa, red flag.
yeah.
I thought as a teacher, I'm supposed to teach English because I was training to be an English teacher. What do you mean an agent of change?
AKA an agent of wokeness.
There you go. Yes. Like, why? Am I a paid activist? Like, I don't want to do that. Anyway, it says here
In
that
next class, you have to go down the street and like hold up like picket signs saying pro-abortion or something.
I know
Agent of change, agent of wokeness.
the whole school was about activism at some point, you know?
Yeah,
Carlos, you're right. It's 1984.
yeah.
I remember that book.
George Orwell. It's a good book.
Yeah, in fact,
Goldstein.
I made it required reading for that college course that I taught, and the students
Where
loved
Eli?
it. Yeah, at LATTC.
Oh, okay, nice. I know
Yeah.
you taught there. That's cool.
Yeah, I taught there, and I could have kept going too, but I'm all like, I want to go to Asia. It's a shame. Like, I feel like in a parallel universe, I stayed here and like built my career in LATTC
Yeah.
and these private schools,
Yeah,
and it would have been wonderful. But I have to pick, you know.
yeah.
And so yeah, we were reading 1984, and one of my students was from Nicaragua, and so she was fleeing a dictatorship, and so she's all like, I see all the signs in this book about what happened in my country.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, it's a complicated topic. You know, I think the Driven Dad, you know, has a lot of good points, but I feel like it's very complicated too, especially when you bring George Orwell into it. Because
Yeah.
I feel like he was such a visionary.
He
You know,
was.
he could see things coming. You know, and
Well,
he was
also
right
history
about so many
repeats
things.
itself.
History repeats itself.
Concepts repeat, but like the devices change, but the concepts repeat themselves.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about a device that could monitor
The
what
screens.
you say with
Yeah,
screens,
yeah.
right?
No, in the book he was talking about like big projector, like TV, like screens.
Like a TV, right?
Yeah,
But
like
now
it
it's
just
even
falls
worse
down.
because this follows us all over. You know?
That and social media.
Exactly, right. So, and you were led to believe that, you know, war is peace. That
What does she see with our current system in America? Oh, that's for you. I think he's asking like what your teacher. It says what does she see with our current system in America?
the
I guess
teacher.
because like she was encouraging like change and stuff. Like I guess like how does she view America now as it is?
I think this was during the Trump era, or was it, or the pre-Trump era?
That's why, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's Trump era. She's probably a left leaning. I don't know. I think most people or like teachers and stuff they lean left.
they were sounding the alarms, and I guess I could understand they felt that their students were threatened. But this is the way that I perceive it. In a lot of public schools, the teachers feel like parents, like they let their maternal or their paternal instincts, project upon their students.
Right.
But we forget that at that level, those students are legally adults. This whole thing about protecting them, you're even thinking about protecting their feelings, and people feel that that should be a safe space.
Right.
That's the opposite of what you should do if you want to prepare people for the real world, right?
Oh, he says the student from Nicaragua. How
Oh,
did he view America? Or she?
well, I think she was looking at the book and comparing it to how technology, is affecting people, not just in the United States, but
Right.
everywhere, you know. So she
Because
see
Nicaragua's a third world country, right?
Nicaragua, unfortunately, it is.
Venezuela, Zimbabwe. I mean, their currency is shit. I think, a side note, I think that's where Bitcoin is going to really thrive.
Right, because people are looking for alternatives, right?
Well, they're looking for a currency that holds its value.
Mm.
Because, like in Zimbabwe, like you need like 20 million Zimbabwe or whatever their currency is to buy like a $5 item or something. Like inflation is crazy high over there, and Bitcoin is a better, or it's more stable. And I mean, it's already like the president of El Salvador. He's buying as much Bitcoin as he can, and he's encouraging people in El Salvador to buy Bitcoin to replace their current currency because it's garbage.
Right. So yeah, to answer your question,
His question.
yes, I think she could see a lot of things in the United States too, but
Yeah.
what really hit home is what happened in Nicaragua because again, Animal Farm and 1984, both books from George Orwell.
I've not read Animal Farm.
Oh, I think you'll love it. It's easier to read. There's a cartoon in the internet, which was funded by the CIA, literally.
I know.
Yeah.
Excuse
So
me.
you could at least watch the cartoon. I think it's pretty good. But a lot of the stuff
You said it was funded by the CIA.
it really was.
That's crazy.
Yes, as anti-Soviet propaganda.
Oh wow.
It is what it is, but it's a good movie.
Those are wild times.
Wild Times, yeah, it's mostly accurate to in its depiction of the book. I mean, with some changes.
Read Animal Farm to my, or he read it, or read Animal Farm to my kids. Dude, your kids are still young. Or did you read it to your two oldest daughters?
Animal Farm is probably a good fable.
He's
You
like,
could
yeah,
still
I read
teach it to kids.
1984 Animal Farm to my 4-year-old.
That's fine. I think you just don't read 1984 to kids. No, not 1984. That's too graphic.
Yeah,
But Animal Farm is
they
fine.
won't be able to grasp the idea.
Not only that, but horrible things happen in that book. Torture, all sorts of bad things. You don't want to show that. Stuff like that happens in Animal Farm too, but I guess you could skip those paragraphs.
Yeah. Animal Farm's like a kid's book, but it's really not.
It's like a fable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Like he's like
1984 is too much for kids. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty dense. He said all of them. He's read Animal Farm to all of his kids. That's crazy.
And I hope they don't ban that book because I was panicking when I saw that some places wanted to ban 1984. They shouldn't. It's like a warning to mankind.
Hey Tony, there's another book you should read to your kids. By an author that you know. I send copies of my books.
Yeah. For inspiration,
yeah, exactly.
a lot of motivational talk in in John's books. For real. Animal Farm helps kids understand justice.
Okay, gotcha.
Not social justice, justice, right? Gotcha.
Like antitrust justice?
There you go. Yeah. So 1984, Animal Farm, A Brave New World. Let's see, what other book is good?
Oh, 5 Foundations of Contentment.
There you go. You were able to plug in those. The other two can't read. 3 of my kids read it.
Oh wow, nice. Awesome. Yeah. I hope they enjoyed it. I hope they enjoyed a college book too. The reality check.
It teaches children to have healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's what old fairy tales used to teach. The original fairy tales, they were very graphic. Like, don't talk to strangers,
Aren't a lot of kids like not born, but like, because like a lot of kids like always ask why. Do you think like kids have, because they're in the learning process, do you think they have an innate ability to keep questioning it but like as they grow up, society suppresses it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
society tries to really cushion kids, but
yeah.
kids are meant to be sponges that
Do you
learn.
think they cushion them, or do you think they try to pull them into their own values? Like, let's say if their parents are left leaning, they try to make their kids left leaning. If their kids are, or if they're right, and they make their kids go right as well, instead of trying to encourage critical thinking.
They use cushioning perhaps as a way of indoctrination.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but maybe it would be best for kids to be healthily skeptic, of
Right.
everything, to question and to come to their own conclusions.
And
You
also,
encourage
props
that.
to Tony. He and his wife homeschool their kids
Oh,
because he doesn't want them to be indoctrinated by the public school system.
are the kids like in middle school or high school or something like that?
I think the two oldest kids are 16 and 14, so high school. I might be wrong, Tony. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the other three are, I want to say like 7, 4, and 2. So the other three are pretty young.
I don't think.
I don't think most people were raised with politics till recently. Okay.
Yeah, back then politics was the boring stuff in the news.
I would say Obama, or during the Obama era, like before he got elected, I think that was like a really big thing. I think that's when like politics became household talk.
Or Bush,
Bush, I don't know. I don't know about Bush. Maybe a little bit,
because
but
of the war in Iraq and 9/11 and all that stuff.
like Obama, like when he became Obama, like he was so liked by a lot of people that they started talking about their kids, and they were just trying to encourage everyone to vote. And they're also trying to help him become like the first black president, even though he's half black. Because like before Obama, like I don't remember people talking about politics like that with their kids. Like there's still some people talking about, it, but not on the same level as like Obama or even Trump, because like a lot of people wanted Trump to stay, and a lot of people didn't want Trump to stay. So I think Obama and Trump and Biden, like during these years, politics became more talked about in the House.
Mm. Oh, the 10th grade, 9th grade, 5th grade, and preschoolers.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Wow, you have a big family.
He does, yeah.
That's good.
That's why I have to make $16,000 a month from Uber.
Oh yeah, makes
He's got
sense.
a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah,
Nah, but they're good kids.
a lot of people nowadays aren't even having kids, right?
Like me.
Like me
Like
too.
us. Yeah,
like
us.
We're talking about how kids should be raised, and like we
Yeah, fuck, dude. I'm still a kid.
at heart.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, this is so expensive, man. Everything's just so expensive, especially here in California. Like, I can't get lunch cheaper than. I mean, I can if I go like. Actually, no. Even McDonald's like like $15 for a combo now. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because I have to eat out. Because when I'm working, I'm on the road a lot. I can't really take food from home because it'll go bad or it'll be like really cold, so it's hard. So I always have to eat out when I'm working.
Oh okay.
I think if people. Oh no, I think I read that. I think if people were not worse. No, I didn't read that one. I think if people were more aware of politics, our surveillance state wouldn't be what it is now. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just ignorance. They don't want to. They don't want to learn. They don't want to be educated. Like the area that I work in now for my W-2, it's more of like a city area. It's more city than suburbs. So like there's like warning notices everywhere about like how you're being recorded. That reminds me of 1984 and China, because China has like cameras everywhere for like face detection technology. So yeah, the area I work now, there's signs everywhere saying you're being recorded 24 hours, surveillance, stuff like that. It's crazy.
There's face recognition software already activated.
Yeah, I'm sure they have it, but they're probably just not disclosing it. Tony says I'm helping bounce out the low. He's doing it for us. He's bouncing it out for us.
Saving the country.
Exactly.
How old are you, if I may ask? More or less. Are you a millennial?
No, Tony's like I think he's 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That still counts as millennial, doesn't it? Like
maybe older millennial. I don't
older
know.
millennial, because
we're the same age, right? How old are you?
I'm 35 actually.
I'm turning 34 this month, so we're about the same age.
Right, so that's still millennial, but
yeah.
So I hear millennials aren't really having kids.
No.
But
because they're buried in college debt.
There you go. Generation X, maybe.
Honestly, right now, if I wanted to, I can have kids, but I wouldn't be able to raise them financially comfortably. That's why I'm just like, I don't know. Plus, like these whole laws around marriage in California and shit like that. That's kind of discouraging from getting married.
That still counts as millennial.
He's 40, yeah. Edge of millennial.
Yeah, so millennials are having kids, at least one.
Well, this guy's having 5, so
that balances that out.
We're averaging out.
There you go. Yeah.
What's 3 divided by 5?
I know. Crazy. And I don't even want to think about Gen Z at that point. I'm like, I don't want to think about this.
What's Gen Y? Oh, that's millennial, right?
Yeah.
Gen X is the baby boomers. Gen Y is millennials, and then Gen Z's are basically our kids.
They're called the Zillennials.
Zillennials, that's terrible. Just call them Gen Z. But I think Gen Z is going to be better off than millennials because they're learning from our mistakes. Like a lot of them are going to trade school. God bless my dad. He's an electrical contractor. He's a blue-collar worker. We need people like him, or else this country will be fucked. Like no running water, no electricity, all the stuff we get taken for granted. And there's a big shortage. Oh, yeah, we talked about shortages earlier. We have a big shortage of tradespeople. So I think with Gen Z going to trade school, then typical college, it's a good thing. Yeah,
that's a huge good thing.
Yeah, we need mechanics, we need plumbers, we need electricians, all that stuff.
Or else everything would fall apart.
Exactly. Yep. I'm in the Zennial transition years. Feels like he's closer to Gen X and millennial.
Yeah, sometimes I feel kind of
bad. Tony, a boomer?
Like, on the topic of tradespeople,
yeah.
Sometimes I feel kind of bad because, like, if I'm in a classroom, jotting stuff down in a whiteboard, what am I really building? I ask myself, like, what am I really doing to earn my food?
You're giving your hand workout.
I'm all like, yeah, I'm teaching English, sure. But I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's the tradespeople who are really building things,
Right.
Like, they have really earned their meal.
I would say we need both. We need both white-collar and blue-collar worker, but they're just an imbalance now.
Yeah.
Because our generation growing up, we were constantly told to go to college.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone can be in an office.
Right.
You can't have that.
For me, like, I went to college because I wanted to learn and get the education while I still had an opportunity to live with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though I lived on my own when I was in San Diego State, but I didn't have to, fully. Well, actually, no. Basically, I just wanted to get it ASAP rather than leave it to like when I'm 30 or 40.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I got it. But yeah, a lot of stuff that I learned in college I already knew because I read a lot, especially about business. So I knew about that stuff. What about you? Why'd you go to college? Huh?
Well,
why'd you go to college, Carlos? Huh?
Okay, yeah. I'll keep it simple. You see, and I was really bitter about this too, because
were you bitter during or after?
All of it.
Oh, you just bitter throughout the whole trend.
I am a very bitter person. I'll put it this way. Zillennial transition years.
Yeah, we read that one.
Oh.
Tony says that's because college is an extortion scam. Only loan you can't even bankrupt from.
The only loan you can't bankrupt from. That's true.
It is, but I don't know about extortion, man. I just think
it's a scam. It is a scam. That's for sure. Unless you major in STEM, perhaps.
Well, the thing is that scam is when you invest something and you don't get anything in return. So I wouldn't call it a scam.
Our baristas probably have a degree. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Which is fine. Like, if you're a barista,
but the thing is that maybe that's not the only job she can. Maybe she prefers that because it's less stressful.
That's true.
For me, like right now, I can go make 6 figures at a W-2 as a sales manager, but it's going to be a lot of stress, and I don't want to deal with that, especially because I don't have kids or I'm not married yet. So, like that's my version of a barista, pretty much.
They want people to pay for education that they can't afford. They considered it a rite of passage, right?
Yeah.
And looking back, I think it was very bad that they would use it as a way of that they would scare students into going to college by saying, if you don't, you're going to be a tradesperson. There's nothing wrong with being a tradesperson. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give you a different perspective. I'm going to say that I think the U.S. government was worried that we would fall behind in terms of education because we already are. We're behind China, Japan. A lot of other countries are more advanced in education. And I think they gave us the student loans for us to be able to go to college and at least be able to be in the same conversation as the other countries like Korea. Korea is really advanced in education. South Korea.
At a price, though.
What do you mean?
These guys go to school like first thing in the morning, and they stop school like at
Yeah, absolutely.
night.
I'm just saying I think the U.S. is worried that we would fall behind them, and I think they gave us the ability to go to college. I think the biggest criminal or the biggest culprit is the colleges for continually charging insane amounts of money for college,
Mhm.
and that's because they knew that their students were going to borrow money from the government. So yeah, I don't consider it a scam. I think it's just that it probably had good intent, but a lot of people took advantage of it. You also can't forget about the people who go to college but never graduate. They use the money to buy expensive cars or buy a house, things like that. So there's both sides.
Yeah, there's people who just use their savings, for other purposes, and that's perfectly fine.
You mean their loans?
Perhaps,
Yeah.
yeah, or what their grants. Sometimes they just
The
are
Pell Grant.
given.
Because I don't know about you, but I went to LA Valley College, which is in the same district as Eli. But yeah, like a lot of the kids or a lot of students that I knew, they used the Pell Grants and all that money to like buy or lease like a Mercedes or BMW. They didn't use it for school
or video games.
or video games. Yeah, whatever. Basically everything, but except for school.
Right.
Which is what it's meant for. So
that system doesn't work. What does it say here?
Let's see. We are behind because they took federal control of the. Yeah. But I don't know. But then who? If the feds don't take control, then who is? You need a governing body, I guess. Oh, isn't like the what's it? The U.S. Education Department? Aren't they supposed to be? I don't know. Then he says, then they put equity over achievement, and now they just push people to graduation. They have a sixth grade reading level.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're the educator, so I'm gonna leave that up to you. I don't know.
Yeah, so a college degree isn't the same.
Is that really true that people have like such a low reading level skill?
Well, look, the students that I had
Yeah.
an excuse because they were learning English.
Right, you had ESL students.
ESL students.
English as a second language.
You can't expect anything else.
Right.
But when you have somebody who grew up here,
Born
or
and
was
raised
born
here.
here, born
Yeah.
and raised here, then at that point you wonder like why.
There's no excuses. Yeah.
The math levels, the English levels, what's going on? That's fine. Each state should have control of their own schools. Yeah.
I don't know, but then the curriculum will be different.
Per region, but that's how it works, right? With states' rights, doesn't it? Like you adapt to your own local situation and needs and industries, right?
Yeah.
Like if your state is a petroleum producing state, then you might have more majors that pertain to that particular industry, right?
Yeah.
If you're in Hollywood, then there could be more emphasis on the arts, right?
Yeah.
If you're, I'm guessing, maybe that would make more sense to make it more regional. But that's just one point of view. But you see a lot of countries, that are less wealthy than the U.S. and they have free education.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Solutions are many, but we can tell that whatever's happening now isn't working, and we could probably say the same thing with healthcare, and that's another can of worms.
That's true. Yeah, education, health.
It's like my students, wherever they come from, they're international, right?
Right.
They say, oh, in my country, like if you need to see the doctor, you see the doctor. No issue. Like it's either affordable or it's completely free. Like if you need surgery, you get surgery. You just go to the private hospital.
Have you heard about a Canadian healthcare system?
With where?
Canadian.
Oh, the Canadian.
Like they were saying that. I don't know how true this is or how wide it is, but so I was talking to someone. They said that I can go see a doctor whenever I want, but there's really long wait times, and sometimes you have to share a room with a couple other people.
Okay.
Like they'll put the curtains and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, but you still have to share a room. So if someone's screaming or something, you hear all of that.
Well, that's why, in spite of that, some people go for the private option. Like the private hospitals still exist in a lot of these countries.
Yeah.
If you want something of higher quality, but if you're dying and you have no choice, you at least have the public option. You're broke, you at least have that to save your life.
I think you'd still go to an emergency room and get treated there. I think that's because I think not a law, like an ethical thing where you have to treat someone regardless if they can pay for it or not.
Yeah, you have to treat people, but then after that, then you tag
the bills. Yeah, the bills.
The bills follow you around.
So you can get the treatment, but you're gonna get stuck with the bills. And like the credit bureaus now, they're or not credit bureaus, sorry, the FICO scoring system, which is the one that all the big companies, like the big banks and lenders, use to decide if they're going to give you a mortgage or not. But they're saying they're going to stop counting medical bills into your score because of the issue with healthcare in this country, which I commend them.
That makes sense, actually. I think that
Because if you have medical bills, chances are you're not able to work, or
Right.
they're just so crazy that you can't keep up with it.
Right.
It's not the same thing as running up a credit card,
Right. In fact, in that
Tony's going ham in the comments. Tell us how you really feel, Tony. I think I read this one. That's fine if your state is the best. People will move there. That is true, yeah. Take it as a grain of salt, since it's just a quick Google. Here's what we know: half of U.S. adults can't read a book written at the 8th grade level.
God damn.
According to OECD, the average American reads at the 7th, 8th grade level. That's crazy.
God.
According to the Literacy Project, that's crazy, man. That's why we have ChatGPT now.
ChatGPT writing everyone's essays.
Exactly. Solves that problem. Check.
Right. Well, to answer your question earlier on about why did I go to college, I'll put it this way. So, because of DACA, right?
Right.
Back then, I didn't have a work permit. I wanted to start working when I was 16.
Right.
Like the whole summer school culture, right? I couldn't, even if I tried. At 18, I'm all like, that's it, I'm leaving. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go back to Mexico and join the army or whatever.
Right.
And then my mom says, "Oh, try to go to college." I said, "Well, all right, I'll see if they accept me, but if not, then I'm leaving."
Didn't you say that you did really well in like elementary or middle school?
Yes, I did.
In terms of your grades.
In terms of literacy and stuff like that, my reading level in high school was already at the college level.
Wow.
And so I'm all like, all right, then I'll major in English, because that's what my teachers have always told me to do.
Sorry to cut you off. Whenever they say, like, whenever they're rating reading skill levels, are they talking about, like, the comprehension, like vocabulary, things like that?
Exactly. They would do tests on me to see, like, what my reading level would be. They would also analyze my writing. They would say it's far beyond my grade. That this was in middle school and in high school.
Right.
So people kept on telling me, major in English, major in English. So I'm all like, okay, then maybe they have a point. If I have no choice because I can't work, I don't have a work permit, I guess I'll have to go to school because they did allow me to go to school. Then eventually DACA happened and I got a work permit, which was a little later. But my 10th grader has a college.
Has a college reading since 5th grade.
Congratulations. That's great. I'm happy to hear that.
She might end up in college class, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a lot of kids go to college early. They skip grades.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Tony, are you sending your kids to college or no? Or maybe if they have like a specific major, because outside of STEM, I'm with Carlos. I don't think college is worth it.
Yeah,
I like it because you get to be more well-rounded, and again, it depends on the college you send them to, right? Like if it's, I'm a big fan of community colleges.
Oh yeah, I learned more in community college than I did in university.
Same here.
And that's for reals.
And I also have better relationships with my instructors because they're small class sizes.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you closing?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just reclosing right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like 10.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, long story short, I had to go to college because I didn't have any other choice.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else to do. Like, all right, screw it. Got my AA.
All right, screw it.
Yeah. Got my BA. Then after that, there was a job in Guadalajara. Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead for it. Yeah. Thank you.
There was a job in Guadalajara, Mexico, that I really wanted. They were like, we recommend a master's. It's not required, but we recommend.
What kind of job was it?
It's ESL teaching, for private sector. I'm all like, all right, so they recommend the master's. Maybe there's more chances of me getting it if I get the master's. So I went ahead and got the master's. So at this point, I'm just finishing off with the SOTA certificate and heading over to Japan, and then maybe in the future head to Mexico.
Right.
So we'll see, like where I end up. But I'll stay in Japan for as long as I can.
It'll be cool if we can meet up in a different country.
Maria means bitter? I didn't know that.
can't tell if it's a cockroach or a ladybug. What do you think this is? Ladybug or a cockroach? It's hard to tell, right?
Yeah, it must be a cucaracha, man.
What's cucaracha?
Cockroach.
Oh,
We're outdoors. Cheers.
it's alright, yeah. It's a small one. The ones I've seen are fucking massive. This one's not that big. Sorry, we got sidetracked by cockroach on us.
The dinosaurs, the cockroaches have been around since the dinosaur days.
Yeah, it's true.
They'll outlive humanity, I think.
Right.
Especially in a nuclear war.
Carlos, is your middle name Maria? Maria means bitter. Oh, because you're saying you're a bitter person?
My middle name is Gonzalo.
Gonzalo, yeah.
I don't know what Gonzalo stands for. So it is what it is.
My great-grandfather's name was
Crespin Maria.
Crespin Maria.
There's Jose Maria. A lot of males have the Maria middle name.
I had no idea.
It's because it's religious. Either
Okay.
Jose for Joseph.
Why can't
Maria
it be
for
Mario and it's Maria?
You also have Marios out there.
Okay.
And then you have Jesus, which is Jesus.
Yeah,
Like people literally calling themselves God.
Yeah.
Because the Catholicism.
Yeah, I was
Joseph,
gonna say
Mary,
Catholic, yeah.
Jesus. Joseph, Mary, Jesus, you know.
Maria, Maria. You heard that song? Carlos Santana?
Oh, I haven't.
I'll play it later.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Carlos Santana, like a rapper and a singer.
It's like my sister, her name is Guadalupe Maria or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
obviously
a common name, yeah.
for the Virgin Mary, you know.
Yeah, Guadalupe
So
Maria.
there's a lot of religious connotation in Hispanic
Yeah.
names. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a bishop that was killed in LA?
Was he?
A bishop?
A bishop?
Yeah. Killed in LA
I didn't know that.
from Mexico?
I wouldn't be surprised though.
Yeah. I wonder why though.
Well, that's crazy. A lot of crazy stuff is happening nowadays. Do you think that a lot of crazy stuff is happening, or are we just aware of it because technology lets us know right away?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
And it says here,
What did he say? Yeah, there was.
Carlos Santana is one of the best
Yeah,
guitarists.
he is. He's really good. Do you know who Carlos Santana is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He's really good at the soloing. You know, the guitar.
Well, that's how guitarists show their talent.
And I think he used to play in the streets, before.
Yeah.
He got started that way and then became famous.
I love Carlos. I mean, I don't love him. I love his music.
There's Jimi Hendrix. There's Carlos Santana. There's, I think,
Prince.
Yeah, all sorts of great guitarists out there.
Maria, Maria.
That song stuck to your head.
Yeah, no, it is. I like that song.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think both too. The thing is that people are complaining about, and I'm not trying to open up a can of worms about gun control. We take guns. It's not guns, dude. It's mental health. We've never taken mental health seriously in this country. So until we do, then things are going to keep happening, unfortunately. Because people could do the same with cars, knives, other weapons. Because manslaughter is considered as using your car as a weapon to kill someone.
Okay, that's true. And in China, they have a lot of knife. They have a lot of knife stabbings.
Oh, really?
Because they're not allowed to have guns.
Right.
So if you're
California,
if you're insane,
or LA.
You're gonna use one thing or another.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Where to get a hold of? Yeah, exactly. I think both bad things are getting more frequent. Social media makes it more easily known. Yeah, because they'd rather talk about the negative than the positive. I mean, it's based like the news.
That's true because the negative stuff is what gets more attention.
Yeah, it does. It gets more clicks and views.
Yeah, one time I was scrolling and I noticed most of this is negative. What do I get out of scrolling?
Yeah.
I think I should put the phone down because it's making me sad.
Yeah, it is. Makes me depressed.
And it's like magic. You put the phone upside down, all of a sudden you're it's like a sigh of relief.
There's a lot of studies on how social media makes people depressed.
Yeah.
Especially because you compare yourself to someone else.
Yeah, my friend used to say, use it, don't abuse it,
Yeah.
You could harness it as
Use
a
it
tool.
to your advantage, yeah.
Exactly. You could use it, but don't let it get out of hand.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, the Driven Dad says, I think both bad things are getting more frequent, and social media makes it more easily known. So it's a double punch, right?
Double whammy.
Double whammy. Well, I do feel that there is less maturity around, especially
Yeah.
with adults. Adults are acting like kids, you know,
That is true.
with temper tantrums.
Sometimes they act more childish than their kids. Their kids know better.
Yes, that's scary.
Do you think that's like a result of like mental health struggles?
I mean, I'm happy for the kids knowing better, but
Right.
I'm worried about the adults. It's like, what's wrong with you, you know?
Yeah.
Here's my thing, my quick opinion on this whole mental health thing. A lot of professionals treat mental health as in take this pill and everything's better, but I don't think that's the case.
Kind of like a cookie cutter approach.
Right, so sometimes it's beyond that, you know, whatever that term implies. Sometimes it's more about people finding meaning, you know, because people have sort of like lost meaning. And
Yeah.
how people find it, I don't know. However they want.
You just have to experience different things to see. It's almost like a process of like elimination.
Right.
That's how I came across the 5 foundations of content, which is my purpose in life. To spread that message.
Right. You know, like for some people it might be, oh, I'm going to look after my family, right?
Right.
For other people it's like, oh, you know, my community, or for other people their religion, or for other people whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
But if you don't have anything, if it's just materialism, that's when things start getting to you.
Right.
Because then you think everything is unfair. Like, of course, the world's not fair.
Right.
But yeah, I think my coffee rush already wore out.
It wore out. No,
Yeah. If I keep mumbling, it's going to be more incoherent than it already is.
What time is it?
It's about 9:30.
Okay. We've been online for an hour and 15 minutes. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, well, if I'm in Tokyo, let's do a live stream from both sides of the planet.
I know, right? I wish we could do a live stream together in Tokyo. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I'd like to come out there.
Oh, you'd like to visit Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah, I think that should definitely be the road trip to remember.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
A cross-oceanic road trip, the
Yeah.
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we can do a live stream something from Japan. That'll be really cool.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people from here can join too.
I'm sure they will, especially Nova. I know he missed today, but I'm sure he'll watch that. He's probably busy at work because I texted him.
My closing thoughts: freedom isn't free.
That's a good one, Tony. That's true. Exactly.
A lot of truths are wrapped in simplicity, you know?
And also, freedom is different for everyone.
Interpretations of what freedom looks
Exactly.
like.
Yeah, different perspectives. Yeah. Like for me, freedom is financial freedom. Because I don't know if we have, freedom of speech here. I think we do, but just not on social media platforms.
Yeah, that's why I'm driving that pile of junk over there. No monthly, no monthly fees. But yeah, those are my thoughts, I guess.
All right, appreciate everyone stopping by. If you guys enjoyed the stream, definitely hit the like button. Tony, Tommy, and everyone else who joined. Peace out.